Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What? Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
It's Wednesday. You know what that means. It is the AEW Dynamite recap brought to you by the Smacked Raw podcast. I'm your host, Katie Baby.
Baby.
Or,
Hey, baby.
or as Matt calls me, KDW. Whatever. I'll go by all names. I want to have as many nicknames as Travis does.
Good luck.
That is my goal in life now. He has like 16.
That's an impressive amount of nicknames, if I do say so myself.
I'll try. But, excluding all of my nicknames, I'm joined by Kevin Crazy, of course. And as you can see, that is not RN. That is the returning, phenomenal Sebastian.
Sup?
Yeah, well,
Glad to be back, guys.
Oh,
happy to have you, man.
Happy to have you back, Seb.
Yeah.
This
is a momentous occasion.
I've been out enjoying the prison life. Not as an inmate.
Yeah,
we got to preface that. Not as an inmate. Oh, man.
I mean, but it's just as likely.
What?
I don't know.
Just kidding.
I don't believe you. But it's fine. So we are a wrestling recap show. I know it's really hard to believe, but we recap Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and of course AEW, which is why all of you are here. And if you're here live on twitch.tv/puttingyouover, or if you're watching on the YouTube video, youtube.com/SmackDrawPodcast, we finally passed 200 subs.
Yeah.
We're so dominant.
It happened while me and Kyle were filming the recap on Raw.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Shout out to Baby J for telling us in the chat while we were recapping.
That's a TMZ story that matters particularly to the Smacked Raw pod.
Yes, very much so. If you like to listen to the podcast, we have the audio form up on basically every podcast platform you can think of.
Oh.
You good?
Hello?
Yeah.
All right.
Kev froze for me for like 10 seconds. I thought I was gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're there. Don't worry about it.
You're here, man. You're here.
All right.
And check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Their articles, their podcasts, their premium content. It's a fantastic website over there. Amazing people doing amazing things, writing amazing articles. Check them out. And
Simply amazing.
Perfectly splendid.
Oh, you creepy one.
It's from a show. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know what show it's from.
Do you?
Yeah. The Haunting of Bly Manor or whatever.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a little cultured.
Just a
but
little?
not very much. Yeah.
A little
All
bit.
right.
That's a dope show. Although I like the first part of it better. The Haunting of Hill.
The Hill House?
Yeah.
Hill House, I gotta say, was a little better. I did really like Bly Manor, though.
No, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on it. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm not pooping on it by any stretch.
Do you want to fill Seb in on our swearing?
Oh yeah, we're trying not to swear. So our end's been keeping a tally.
I'll probably be the winner. Like, are they a punishment for said loser of this?
No. It's overall. So when it's usually me, Kevin, RN, we've got it down to less than 10 between the three of us. It's mainly RN and Kevin. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be a good replacement for RN as far as that goes. I'll probably.
Well, what we're saying is we've been pretty good for the last few weeks. Like, if you let it hang out a little, it's no big.
Okay. That's an adjustment. But it'll be okay.
Whew. All right, now that we got all of the pandering out of the way, how'd you guys feel about Dynamite? New Year's Smash, week 1.
Well, we were talking about it, I think, even before Sebastian got there. Like, honestly, the main event was really good. The rest of the show was kind of just meh, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it.
Really?
I mean, nothing particularly wrong with it, but like, I don't know. It was, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just because the main event was so good. I don't know.
It's odd that I was a little higher on the AEW show than Kevin.
Yeah.
Breaking
Yeah.
news.
Yeah,
TMZ.
I really enjoyed the show. I thought the 8-man tag was really good. It still had the things that drive me crazy, like, no rules and shit, but God,
It's all right. It's all right.
there we go. But as far as the action goes, it was good. I thought Wardrow and Hager had a really good match. The women's match was okay. I think the blood spot kind of elevated a little bit, but other than that, it was meh. But that did a little something for it. Cody
Yeah.
and Seidel, I thought had a good match. Snoop Dogg jumping off the top rope was very ugly, but it was.
You can't tell me you didn't pop for that, though, man.
I thought he was dead, personally.
It looked like he was gonna like just topple over for a second, like right before he like started to like go up. I thought he was gonna take a header so bad. I was like, he's gonna die on live
I
TV.
thought he was gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought all the matches, for the most part, delivered. I thought it was a very good show. And the ending speaks for itself when we get to it.
Yeah, the ending was incredible.
Oh, the ending was. If only there. If only there were 2 words I could put together to communicate how good that spot was. Oh, too sweet. Duh.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've talked about it before. AEW is great at creating those kind of moments, man. And it was like that was such an AEW moment. It was awesome.
For sure. But let's dive on into it. So we started out with the 8-man tag. We got the tag champs, the Young Bucks, teaming with SCU, taking on the Acclaimed and TH2. Listen, it was a great match. I've talked about this with Kyle. Trying to like write spots out for multiple man like tag matches, it's like impossible at this point.
Yeah. Especially with teams like this.
Because everything just happened. Like Matt Jackson went on like a rampage. He was hitting everybody and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's usually Nick, so I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was Matt this time. Nick Jackson and Frank Kazarian hit the BT trigger. And then it was the best Meltzer ever, which is Christopher Daniels hitting the best moonsault ever into the Meltzer driver for the win, which is what SCU usually does on the Bucks when they face each other.
Oh, I didn't know that. That was cool.
Yeah, then Frankie gets on the mic. He's saying, well, at the end of last year, I told CD, Christopher Daniels, that if we lose as a tag team, again, we're done. Like, we are no longer a tag team. And he said, well, it's not going to happen because they're on a hot streak right now. And Daniels is like, well, Bucks, we have your backs until we face you for the titles because we want to, if this is going to be our last hurrah, we want to try and beat the best team for the titles. So, after the ending of Dynamite, I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, because at first it's like both teams are kind of like that white bread baby face, like respect, whatever. And I mean, now it's a lot more intriguing for sure with the ending of Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how I feel about the whole if we lose again, we're done. I kind of felt the same back in the day about Ric Flair's retirement. And wrestling, you don't go undefeated. You know, nobody's ever won every match for 10 years or whatever. So you know it's happening soon.
Yeah.
In a way, I wish they had just, even if you want to drag it out, you could say at the next pay per view, Young Bucks, SCU, if they lose, they're disbanded or whatever. Because that's obviously where this is going. So, but the match itself, it was good. H2, shoot, what's their names again?
TH2.
Yeah, 2H, yeah. They're really impressive to me. I haven't been on as high on them, but here the last few times I've seen them, they're kind of climbing up there for me. The Young Bucks, they, like Katie said, they kind of switched roles in this match. I thought that was different, especially when you have so many multi-man tag teams in AEW. It's like one or two every week, so it's nice to have something switch up about them. I do kind of wish they tied down on them though, just a little bit. And I get there from New Japan, like the Young Bucks. They have so much time in New Japan and stuff, and that's a very New Japan type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish we would get a little less of the 8-mans and the 10-mans and the 12-mans that we had not long ago.
No, I'm not a huge fan of the multi, like 6-man tag and lower, as far as I'm concerned. Like it's too hard to know what's going on sometimes in the match, and to your point, I mean, too, like how much time can you give each guy in a huge match like that,
Yeah, it's probably because their tag division is so stacked. They have so many tag teams. This is one of the best ways to get a handful of them on, especially their top ones. So Bucks, SCU, and up and comers, the acclaimed TH2, even though TH2's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But I like for this one, I feel like everyone got a good chance to show themselves.
Yeah.
Especially on like the face. I don't even know if I can even say that now. The face side. So like Bucks and SCU.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just becomes chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. But yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised by this match, honestly, because it didn't feel like that most of the time. It did feel like it was a lot more focused. It did break down a couple times, but you kind of expect that in a big match like that, and that's fine to have a couple spots like that. I kind of enjoy it, but it yeah, I mean, it's hard to toe that line, and I felt like they did it pretty well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this was the only multi-man match, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And
I don't even think there were any other tag matches.
No, there wasn't. I don't
no.
believe.
And for next week, they only have one tag match. Well, the Elite are supposed to be in action, but now
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know what that entails.
Exactly.
Man, they got me all types of messed up.
I know.
But we're moving on to Moxley's coming back. His promo, this is the first time he's been in the ring since he lost the title to Kenny last month. Obviously, he did a video tribute to Brody Lee last week. But he came out looking like a badass, whatever. We all have one now. There we go. It's fine. It's making it even. He says sometimes you're on the bad end of a bad deal. He said Don Callis looked like a used car salesman, and I lost it.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Because I did a deep dive into that one in my own head when he said that.
Okay.
I was like, first of all, spot on. He really does. But he also kind of looks like a mix between a used car salesman and Hunter S. Thompson to me. And so, like, I built this whole character where he was a friggin' used car salesman, and like his maverick sales trick was to say, take the ticket, take the ride, and that would make you buy the car. Yeah.
What?
There have that. I swear to God, that all went through my head in about 10 seconds after Moxley said that. So
That's
there
a
you go.
lot of thoughts in 10 seconds. My God, Kevin.
Yeah.
But Mox
I like
goes,
it.
jeez, I have to try and process that. Oh,
Welcome to
man.
my world.
I don't like being here. I'm gonna go back to mine.
Why do you think I sweet all the time?
Oh, here we go. So Mox goes on to say this is a direct quote. Now, direct quotes do not count as me swearing. I have made that apparent.
It does.
Ish.
It does. You can
It's
like
what they said.
you can beep it.
They say expletive on the news.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and Kevin were talking about it before you joined the call. Their censoring tonight was awful.
Oh, it was awful. Yeah, they had,
Yeah,
they had a rough night.
it was cracking me up the whole
Which
time.
really, that's a thing now. If you remember on SmackDown last Friday, like they were GD bombs and everything getting let off, and
Yeah.
apparently it's just a thing now. We're just gonna let them go.
Well, Mox says he has zero tolerance for shitty people. And he puts over Ray Phoenix. He's like, he's been working for 13 years to get his spot, and I'm not gonna come out here and try and take this man's spot who's been working for it, like blood, sweat, tears, which is what Mox has been all about. And he's cutting a promo basically on Kenny saying, you aren't safe, you're never going to be safe, and you've crossed the wrong guy. And obviously we see that after the main event, what happens, but
Yes.
Mox has, Seb, I want to get your opinion. How do you feel about Mox's promos?
No, they're fire. I mean,
I thought this one was really, really good. I mean, every
think
once in a while he'll put a stinker out there. I feel like, where it's like the dumb baby face, I win wrestling matches, so I win. Whatever. But like when he's real genuine like this, I love it. Like he can kill it.
I mean, nobody bets 100, but as far as
Yeah.
like his overall work, I think he's top 2 or 3 promos in AEW, if not the first. I mean, nobody bets 100. Though. He does have a couple corny ones every once in a while, but
No, I mean, you're right. I'm just saying that, like, for me, it was like he put out a couple that were like in the same row, that were kind of
I'm like,
like, and then it was like things started going up for him, and it feels like he's where he should be right now,
Yeah.
which is, he should be being a badass, like
Yeah.
so 2 for Kev.
It's all right. We'll have an off week. I don't care.
yeah,
Kyle still swears too. Like I'm just making this apparent. If you've watched any of our other recaps, he pops off on SmackDown usually when he's with Vince.
because they're both hammered.
Well, that, and he was dropping some stuff on Tuesday, so I'm trying.
You did this,
I'm
man. That
trying.
was.
I'm just saying. I don't want this to be people just thinking me, Kev, and RN have a swearing problem, which
Well,
we
I
do,
do have a
but it's fine.
thank you.
It's fine.
Full disclosure, I do have a swearing problem for future references.
That's what I think about the goddamn swearing problem.
I hate you. Oh my god. Alright, we're doing great. Following the promo, we got Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy backstage having an interview. Basically giving us an update on Trent, who was taken out last week? 2 weeks ago.
It must have been 2 weeks
It was
ago.
2 weeks ago because he came out for he came out with Orange Cassidy, but he had a sling on. That's okay.
That's right. Last week. Yep.
But he's gonna be out for 4 to 5 months, which sucks.
Oh, shnikes.
And then as
I didn't know
Chuck.
it was a series.
Yeah, it's something with
Sorry.
his shoulder. I don't remember. I think he just separated it.
We said a peck.
Oh, Peck.
Yeah, one's peck.
Okay,
I believe
see?
that's what it said.
I'm glad somebody's here. Oh, hey, Baby Jay's in the chat. Hi, Jay.
What up, Jay?
Hi, Jake.
He said,
Is
"It's
this-
effing Seb. What's up, Seb?"
Oh, is this RJ?
Uh,
RJ?
not Jay
Not Jay
Thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, okay.
This is Baby Jay.
Do I know Baby J? I don't know. There's so many people in the chat now. I don't know who I know and who I don't.
He's a child.
I opened it one time and there's like 20 people and I'm like, who are you know the episode of SpongeBob where Patrick's like, who are you people?
Under the rock.
Yeah, I mean, it was me one day. I was like, what the heck's going on? But hello, Jay. Nice to meet you.
Baby Jay. All right. Okay, there we go. I forgot where I was. So Miro, Kip, and Penelope, of course, interrupt because they have this feud now, which I really just wish would end.
Yep.
And Chuck basically challenges Miro to a match, and Miro's like, well, if I win, you have to be my young boy until after Kip and Penelope's wedding, which is basically it's a thing in Japan.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure though.
And Chris Jericho, who I completely forgot to say, was on commentary the entire night.
He was fire too.
He was aggressive.
I loved it.
I can't remember exactly what he said a young boy is. I should look it up.
He said basically a servant, I want to say.
I think
Yeah,
so.
that was the impression I got.
Yeah, it's the first time I've heard it put that way. I was like, young boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
According to the New Japan Pro Wrestling Wiki, a young boy is a young Japanese pro wrestler still in the training stages of their career. So then, if they're not wrestling, they're just seen ringside with, like, whoever's, like, their mentor.
Oh, okay. So like during like the New Japan matches, like the dudes that run up there and put like ice packs on the dude's neck and stuff like that.
I think so. I'm not super
Okay.
familiar with New Japan. Also, Kyle's also in the chat now. Because he's like,
Kyle!
oh shoot, Seb is here.
Kyle.
Like, he didn't
Go
tell
away,
us.
Kyle.
He probably didn't think I'd be able to show up. Like, he's like, it's not going to happen. He's probably shocked at the moment. Like, it's actually real.
You're here.
Seb in the virtual flesh.
Yeah.
Ew.
You took it there, not me.
Your phrasing is weird.
I mean, it's not as weird as you.
I'm taking full. You take responsibility for my weird phrasing. I didn't mean it in any kind of weird way. Don't manipulate my phrasing.
Don't get smart with me, Kevin. I swear to God.
Smarter than you are.
We're not going to have that conversation on camera.
What camera?
Anyways, Hager versus Wardlow. Two big men. Two of, like, the biggest men that AEW has.
Yeah.
It's basically a slugfest. That's literally what it was. I had a lot of expectations for this match because they've been building it for a while. And, like, I was a little let down. There was, like, it was weird that there was almost like a bad botch where Hager was running the ropes and Wardlow jumped over him and he kind of like caught him a little bit on the foot with his shoulder.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened to Keith Lee with Drew on Raw this week.
Yep.
The same exact spot. It was weird.
Yep.
So I had to write it down because like I was gonna forget. But
yeah, it was funny because Jericho on commentary was like, Hager tried to take him out of midair or something like that. Was trying to make it not seem like a botch, even though it was very obviously a botch.
Very much a botch.
It happens.
Like he almost like brought more attention to it than he just left it alone.
Yeah. I mean, the match was good. Wardlow ends up hitting the F10 for the win. And the rest of the inner circle is like standing on the stage the whole match. They come in. Hager's all pissed off that he lost, which I knew damn well that Wardlow was gonna win.
Oh my God.
Listen, Hager's not that good in the ring. I'm sorry. Octagon might be a different story. I have never seen him fight in that sense. But in the ring, he just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I think that that's exactly kind of what showed tonight with him and Wardlow. Like Wardlow's just so much better in the ring than Hager is, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was into this match, you know. I thought it started really kind of slow, but like about halfway through when it picked up and they were just beating the tar out of each other. That was cool. That's what I want out of a match like that, you know, two big dudes just destroying each other, you know. And the F10 at the end was nasty. I can't even believe Wardlow could do that to Hager, to be honest with you. I popped for that. That was insane. But yeah, I mean, it just took a while for it to really start digging its claws into me, if you will.
I thought it was very, I mean, like Katie, I'm not really impressed with Hager in the ring, like his overall work. But tonight, I thought he showed up. I thought they both brought their working boots. Probably Hager's best work in AEW. Can we really? Well, Wardrow had that cage match with Cody, but when you really think about it, Wardrow ain't had many things that's tots of either ever in the cage match off the top of my head.
That's true.
I thought they both came out and they worked well tonight. Ever in the said botch.
Yeah, it wasn't even like I said, I feel like if Jericho hadn't said anything, I would have just been like, oh, you know, wouldn't even have given a shit.
I mean, just because I saw that same spot 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I recapped it yesterday. It was obviously fresh on my mind, so I was gonna write it down regardless. But I mean, it wasn't bad. I think in my mind I just had higher expectations for this match. But it wasn't awful.
Although I like what they're doing with the storytelling with like the inner circle. With a match like this. That's really dope. You know how like they're gonna have like struggles internally because like how can you get that many egos that are that big together and not have some friction, you know? And especially two dudes like that have basically their whole character and everything is based around just being a badass and beating people up, you know what I mean? Like it felt like this kind of had to happen, you know, for it to be believable, and I dig that for sure.
Yeah, Jericho was like kind of putting that over on commentary. He was like,
Yeah,
well, we've talked about it. This is the only way for them to get out their anger towards each other. It's a one-time thing. I mean, everyone was fist bumping at the end of their match, so everything's fine for now until it won't be in like 2 weeks.
There was a spot in the match where on commentary, Excalibur started bringing up another match. I think at the main event, and Jericho got like offended at the audience guys, and I thought that was really funny.
Jericho's so good on commentary. I love him.
Ow! I just pulled.
Don't hurt yourself.
My other headphone, I only have one in, so it just dangles and it got stuck underneath my chair, and I tried to move my head and it like jerked me down.
Jesus Christ.
I'm fine. It just caught me off guard is more the thing. Alright. Moving on. We had Private Party backstage, kind of just like waiting. They had like the gin, and of course Snoop Dogg brings the juice.
No.
It just makes sense. And Matt Hardy comes over with some contracts. I think this is something spewing over from BTE. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I usually skip the Hardy Party segments on BTE just because I'm not entertained by them. That pairing is just weird.
No, it doesn't make any sense. You're right.
I mean, they sign a contract. They get 30% of something, and they can still use their third-party platforms. Don't you worry, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just awkward.
It
I
was
don't know.
so weird.
I like the third party platforms. Dig though.
Yeah, I did like that for sure because I mean, F you WWE for that. But yeah, other than that though, man, it was awkward for me. Like it still feels awkward that Matt Hardy's hanging with Private Party. Like I thought the Snoop Dogg spot was kind of neat until Matt Hardy showed up. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even because I don't like Matt Hardy. I do like Matt Hardy and I still think he has a lot to offer, but it's like I understand like part of the story there with Private Party is that they, idolize the Hardy bros as they were growing up. But like
Matt Hardy will come punch you in the face for that.
I deserve it.
He's very offended. He's very offended. I don't know if you saw that, but he's
I
very
did.
offended.
No, I know. But like that's paper thin and it's over with for me at this point, like I'm over it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime for me, I mean, there's so much wrestling. I don't have time to watch BTE.
Yeah.
So anytime they try to spill stuff over, without really acknowledging what's going on or giving you a recap or whatever, I'm out of the loop, personally. I mean, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, New Japan starting back up, Impact trying to get a little something going. You can go on and on. There's just too much wrestling.
Yeah.
So much wrestling happening.
It's not a bad problem to have.
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
And I believe I saw today too. MLW is also working on a new TV deal. So yeah,
Oh, good for them. That's cool.
so much. So I don't have time to watch BTE, and I'm not even gonna pretend I do. So I was out of loop.
That's all right. Listen, I watch every week. It's just after I come home from work on Mondays, I just spend the 20 minutes and sit on my phone, do nothing but watch. And like these past 2 episodes, they've had nice tributes to Brody Lee. So
I don't know how it is. AEW Dark still doing like the 14, 15 matches show? Is that
I
still?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they still have a lot. I haven't watched Dark in a while.
I haven't either, but yeah, I saw
I haven't
that
watched it in a long time either.
they were doing like 15 matches. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's just too much.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. They do try and put a lot of matches on there. Every time I see the card, like there's at least 10 matches, 12 matches on every card that I see anymore. So
At
it's
least, yeah. Moving on, we have the Darby Allin and Brian Cage weigh in because they have a TNT title match next week. Obviously the red belt design for the TNT title was retired, given to Brody Lee Jr. So when Darby came out, I like the design of the title.
Oh yeah.
Sleek.
It's a lot better.
Nice.
It's a lot better than the original.
I was gonna say that too. I like it better than the original one too.
Yeah. It just looks.
I mean, I'm glad they did what they did with the original one. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Like
Yeah,
that's a really
I mean,
awesome gesture.
yeah.
But...
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, you know what I mean. Just a design.
yeah, no,
If you remember when it came out, everybody was like,
oh my god, everybody was dogging it.
Everybody was.
But it's a lot slicker now. I like it.
Yeah.
So Taz, for some reason, gets all pissed that Brian Cage has to step on the scale first. He's the challenger. Like, calm down. But he's just like, no, it's all right, whatever. Brian Cage gets up. He weighs in at 272 pounds. And Darby Allin, my boy, steps up on the scale. 170 pounds.
Literally 100 pounds less.
My boy. But he knows that, well, after he gets weighed, Taz is like, oh, he's wearing a jacket, he's wearing a belt, he's wearing shoes, blah, blah, blah. Taz going on rant. And Darby, like, grabs the mic from Shivani is like, listen, this isn't a few months in the making. This is 27 years in the making, dealing with shit his entire life. And he's like, I know what's going to happen. Let's just skip to the fun part. Drops the mic. Shivani leaves. Has his skateboard in hand. Lights go out. Snow starts falling. Who could it be? Sting!
It's Sting. No, this was
It's
dope. I really
Sting.
like that.
And basically Team Taz like scurries out the ring and they're trying to figure out where Sting's coming from. He just comes from the tunnel, gets in the ring with Darby, and they kind of just like stare at each other for a second, and then they're staring at Team Taz. Taz, for some reason, is very angry with the fake snow. He just gets
Yeah,
more
he
and more
was.
mad each week about the fake snow. And he tells Darby that Bryan is going to be the new TNT champ next week. How do you guys feel about the pairing of Darby and Sting in whatever role it is?
Me personally, I mean, I'm the type of guy that don't mind long-term storytelling, but for me, I'd like some new layers. Uh, the whole Sting just coming out and walking around the ring around Darby or whatever for 4 weeks in a row now. It's starting to get a little repetitive for me. I mean, I like Sting as long as he's not challenging for a title or anything like that. You know, he has usefulness over there. But I just wish they'd start to add a couple more layers here and there instead of just the same stuff for a month straight.
Yeah, no, agreed. Because it could they make a lot of sense to pair them together. You know, the characters and stuff are simple. What the hell was that?
The dryer's done.
Oh,
Oh.
that makes sense.
I almost just didn't even know. I just no sold it for a second. Then I saw Katie like
My eyes got all big. I was trying to like focus. It's fine. Keep talking.
Anyway, yeah, so I think that they make a lot of sense together, you know, just based on their character and stuff like that. They're two characters. But yeah, I mean, like, where's it going? Like, you know, other than the fact that like they just kind of hang out together.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even really got to tell me where it's going yet. Like, they can play it up too much. Just add a layer, you know, a week, every 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
that's what makes the Roman Reigns storyline so, and his character so appealing right now. Every week there's something subtle that's different. And
Yeah.
with this, it's just Sting comes out, it's snowing, he walks in a circle, everybody leaves.
Yeah.
And the commentators are like, what's going on? You tell me. Yeah.
I have a feeling that for the TNT title match next week, Sting is just going to be in Darby's corner. If not the whole match, for at least the last half of the match.
Yeah.
Maybe just to solidify that he's kind of like Cage and Starks have Taz, Darby will have Sting.
Yeah. I get that impression too.
That's what I think, but I very well could be wrong. I hope I'm not, and I hope he's not just trying to. I don't think he would just go straight for the title.
I don't think well, AEW don't really, they're not been around long enough to really get their history or anything like that, habits,
Right.
legends. But I don't think that's the plan they're going with Sting. This is
Yeah.
really the first time they're bringing anybody back like this, so can't really say. But
Rumor has it. Oh, sorry, man. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, given how they've only been around for a year and a half,
Yeah.
it's hard to really gauge it.
Well, and as far as you know, Sting goes specifically, rumor has it that he's only supposed to be doing like cinematic matches and stuff too. So I think that would affect, you know, if he could hold a title or not in a lot of people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I remember seeing or reading somewhere that he was planning on doing just like cinematic matches.
yeah,
Is that
which
true?
makes sense.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I guess it really depends on how long the COVID thing lasts. And with AEW, right now they already have fans too. I mean, it's not a full arena, but they're bringing more and more fans in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you get more fans, it's going to be really hard to pull off the 7-minute match or those type of matches.
Exactly.
Live
Yeah.
crowd just sitting there on their hands. So, yeah, just to wait and see. No one really knows what the whole COVID thing. It's a drag.
Yeah, all that stuff and the stuff that's happening today with
Yeah.
Yeah.
DC. Just
Oof. That's a big oof.
yeah. I was like gonna try and bring it up in the beginning, but like I try not to talk about politics just because I don't know a lot. As a 24-year-old girl who doesn't pay attention to that kind of stuff or didn't used to a lot, I don't know a lot, so I don't want to say a lot. If that makes any sense.
No,
Yeah.
that's perfectly reasonable.
But what's happening right now is freaking bananas.
Yep. Yeah, it is. This
I'd
is
rather
crazy.
be chilling in Canada with a moose, just minding my own business. But
With a moose.
with a moose. That's what I've been saying all day. I was like, I'd rather be in Canada chilling with a moose.
Fucking A right, bud.
All right.
That's the most Canadian thing you can say as far as I'm concerned.
I think I'd go to Africa and hang with a lion.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We can all just hang with wildlife in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
I was going to say penguin, but I'd freeze to death. So let's go down there.
Jesus.
Take a lion.
Go to Ireland, chill with some sheep.
Yeah. Why not?
Actually, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm moving to Ireland. I'm gonna be a sheep farmer.
Good God.
Oh man. So MJF and Jake Hager backstage. Hager's all pissed off because he lost. And MJF comes in, he's like, hey bud, you're a winner. You be proud. You're still undefeated in the octagon, and I'm proud of you, so you should be proud of you. And I don't know what MJF is like playing at, but I don't trust him at all.
Why not? He's a straight shooter.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Kevin, when he tried to throw in the towel during Jericho's match the one week, he blatantly tried to blame Sammy, and Jericho was like, nah, man, I watched it. You're a liar.
Alternative facts.
Oh, God.
He did kick Cody in the balls.
Yeah, but he deserved it.
No, he didn't. Oh, man. So I guess we'll find out what MJF's up to because he's always up to something. He's a sneaky boy.
That's true.
So moving on from that, Jurassic Express has an interview backstage, because on Dark Tuesday night or last night, depending on when you're watching this, -1, -1. I can never remember what they actually call him.
I can't either.
I think it's -1.
Sure. I'll take your word for it. I really don't know. I'm sorry.
Brody Lee Jr.
Mm-mm.
Cut a promo on Marco Stunt, basically say it like, just go watch the promo. I can't even
It's hilarious.
I can't even describe it. You just have to go watch it on YouTube. It's not very long. The kid wrote it himself.
For an 8-year-old too, man. Oh my God, this dude killed it.
He killed it.
Killed it. Like,
And if you look at him and Marco in the ring, they're almost the same height.
oh yeah, there's not much of a difference in size. Not much.
So funny. So Marco's basically saying yeah, that was fun, but now we're gonna focus on the titles, and of course FDR interrupt, saying, "Oh, maybe Brody Jr. was right. You're a loser. You're just the mascot. You always have to have the dinosaur protecting you." And Marco gets all fired up. He's like, "All right, well, I'm taking Luchasaurus' spot next week when they face FTR."
Damn
And
it.
it's
Damn it.
what?
You want to see Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt
No.
versus no. I would take Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus FTR all day.
Just give me
Yeah.
But-
Jungle Boy.
I'm just not a big Marco guy. Is Kyle still a huge Marco guy? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even think he's still here in the chat to ask him.
No, here's the thing. I like Margot Stunt in certain contexts, but not in the ring, man. Just no, I can't. And I am one of the biggest kayfabe guys in the world, and I'm forgiving and I suspend my disbelief a lot. I can't do it with Margot Stunt. I just can't. I don't know why I can't do it. And it's like, no, nothing he does is believable. But I like seeing him as a little, crazy person running around the outside of the ring taking cheap shots once in a while, or like helping Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus out. But as a legitimate competitor, dude, get out of here.
yeah, anytime they bring up Marco in a match, I'm just like, I'm out. It's like automatic. Just not yet. I mean, I'm not even gonna go there. Never mind.
Oh no.
Not even gonna go there. But no, I'm just out. I can't do it. Like Kev said, I believe when the AEW started, me and might have been you, Kev. It was pretty much on the same page about that. And I think it was Kyle. It was like, don't you talk shit about Marco.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because what's funny is that Rob freaking hates Margot Stunt
It
too.
might have been me and Rob then at the time. I didn't think it was you, so it was me and Rob then. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been because
Yeah,
Rob.
Kyle like went off in that episode because we were shit talking Marco. But yeah, I can't do it. I just can't.
Yeah, nah, me either.
Like, and everybody's like, Rey Mysterio, but when you look at Rey, yeah, he's small, but he does it. He looks the part.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He has muscles, all this stuff. He actually looks like he can go out there and maybe do a little something. Marco, he like she said, the 8-year-old kid was basically the same size, and I can't.
Well, like I said, certain contexts, I don't mind him. I like him being like the mascot, like what FDR was saying. Honestly, like that role fits him. Like he's charismatic, and like he
looks like Nuzio from back in the day, and he's smaller than Nuzio. Answer. I mean, I just can't.
Fair enough.
I just can't.
I don't blame you. I'm just saying, like,
I mean, if Nuzio is bigger than you, I'm done. Like that's all it is.
Oh, I forgot about him. Oh, that's amazing.
it's a deep cut.
Now that I think about it, I want to see Goldberg spear Marco.
Oh my.
He'd kill him.
Yeah, that he would be clinically dead.
Because
After
the one on Nuzio in the 04 Rumble was, it was bad. I want to see it.
He would kill.
I want to see it.
Oh,
Goldberg is all elite. Let's hope.
Don't you put that devil magic out here.
No, I don't want that at all. But
don't you dare. Moving on. Enough of Marco and Bill Goldberg and Jurassic Express. We got Matt Seidel versus Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes got a new video package and a kind of new theme because he was accompanied to the ring by Snoop Dogg, who is his other judge on the Go Big show because they couldn't promote it enough.
Oh my God, I know.
There's not enough promotion for the Go Big show.
Yeah, they shoved that down our throats like you wouldn't. They even they put over the ring apron at one point on commentary.
The apron, the barricade.
Yep.
It was in Cody's entrance video. Snoop Dogg was there.
I know.
Now, I might be the only one, but this match seemed off for some specific reason. I do not know why. They're both fantastic, but it was like kind of off timing or off pacing in the beginning. At one point, Cody ends up sucker punching Serpentico because Seidel ducked. I mean, it was a fast match. Like I think it was too fast for them. Like Matt Seidel can go, Cody can go, but I think they were trying to like pace it too much. I mean, like, especially, like, in the middle and the beginning. But at the end, Cody ends up hitting 2 Crossroads for the win. And then Luther and Serpentico, because they are a tag team that people remember, they come in
Yeah.
and attack Cody. Snoop Dogg's just, like, standing on the outside, just like, oh no, what do I do? He's, like, looking back. He's like, where is everybody? Why is nobody stopping this? Matt Seidel, with the save, sends Luther out of the ring. Cody lays out Serpentico, and he puts him in position. He's like, Seidel, go up. And Snoop, like, pushes Matt Seidel out of the way, and he's like, no, I got this.
Jesus Christ.
What did Jericho call Snoop, Kevin?
He called him a human piece of spaghetti because he was like, he's so tall. He doesn't need to go up there. He's a
9
human piece
feet
of
tall.
spaghetti. He's already like 9 feet tall. He was saying shit like that. I was cracking up.
And he, like, jumps off the top rope, landing on Serpentico. He almost lands on his neck and his head
Oh, it was
and
awful
his
looking.
knees. And it was weird. And I was very nervous. I really thought we were about to witness Snoop Dogg die in a ring. But then he pins Serpentico. There was no ref. The bell still rung though, which was hysterical.
I know, that was so funny.
But was I wrong, or am I the only one who thinks something was off with this match? Seb?
I mean, I thought it was all right. It wasn't the best, like I expected better, but it was all right enough given the show, because the main event, we all knew it was going to get time and it was going to be fantastic. And I also liked everything else for the most part. So it didn't really have to live up to expectations for me, because I was already pleasantly surprised with Wardrow and Hager, in my opinion. And then 8-man tag, I'm not usually a fan of, and I liked it. So I guess that was good enough for me not to really notice it that much and just enjoy it. But the Serpentico thing, it's cool that he's going to be a trivia answer in 10 years. Who did Snoop Dogg do a fraud splash on? And I hope that was all that was for. And I don't want to see Cody and Seidel versus him and in a tag match in 2 weeks or anything like that. I hope.
Oh no, I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But no, I hear you. That I mean, I popped for that Snoop Dogg moment. How could you not? It was like, but yeah, I mean, what he's got to be like 55-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I'll
Somewhere.
Google it. I'll look it up.
Like, he's not young, by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, that was it was crazy.
Snoop Dogg he's 49.
Wow.
That's it?
I thought he was older than
I
that.
definitely thought he was older than that. My life is a lie.
My life is Snoop Dogg's not older than I thought.
Mine always has been. So
Jesus.
I mean, it really has for the most part. And I was adopted when I was like 17. So where's that?
Jeez, things got dark real quick.
Speaking of dark,
Just
Abaddon taking on Sheeta. Haha. Transitions. Nailed it. This was for the Women's Championship. It was a very good co-main event.
Yeah.
Abaddon, which I think Kev's wearing his shirt.
Absolutely.
Of course he is.
She's my girl, man. I love Abaddon.
She's a creepy bitch.
That's why I love it.
She's so she comes out and Sheeta comes out doing her entrance, doing her thing, and Abaddon just attacks her during her entrance.
Awesome.
Sheeta gives her a nice crack on the head with the kendo stick again, and of course she sits up very Undertaker-esque. Match is going on, ends up on the outside. Sheeta's going for her running knee strike. Abaddon catches her and just bites her thigh. And I was like, oh my god. It took a turn. And then Abaddon's dragging Sheeta underneath the ring, and they were about to go to a commercial or picture-in-picture, and they're like, no, it's so chaotic backstage. We're not going to commercial. We're not doing picture-in-picture.
That was dope. I thought that was a really nice touch. I thought I popped for that alone. That was cool.
And I can't remember the ref. I can't remember what ref it was. He's like checking out of the ring, and Abaddon crawls out, and you can see Sheeta's hand like trying to like. It looked like a zombie movie at this point. She's trying to, like, get herself out of from underneath the ring. Abaddon bit her in the neck apparently because Abaddon's dripping blood, and basically Abaddon controls 90% of this match, which I was very surprised because Sheeta has taken on Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, has had fantastic matches with them, and is usually more offense with them. Until maybe like 3 minutes before the bell, she finally starts getting more offense, hits the Tamashi for the win. And this match was all over the place, and Abaddon
Yeah,
is
it really was.
so creepy.
I love Abaddon. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Kayfabe, I root for Abaddon like a boss, you know. But like using some, you know, being in the real world a little more, like it's just so obvious that Sheeta's way better in the ring than Abaddon. Like there's just no question that, and Sheeta's probably the best, you know, in ring talent that AEW has on the women's side. I mean, I was thinking about this, like she could go to NXT and fit right in right
100%.
now. No, you know, and that's saying something because every woman in NXT right now is so good. So like her talent level is just so much higher than most of the other women in AEW. And I credit her a lot for this match too, you know, because Abaddon looked good too. Not that they asked too much of her, and it was like stuff that made sense for her character and stuff, and I think that's dope. But Sheeta still deserves to have the belt, even though I'd love to see Abaddon have it, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Sheeta being on another level. Abaddon, I'm a fan of her character, but in the ring, like Kaz said, she needs a little work. This match for me is a little much, not much. I mean, the action was good, but the whole biting in the neck, it wasn't really that bothered me. AEW really makes fans go all over the place when they do. They like forget all realm of rules.
I knew you were gonna bring
And
that.
that damn ref was out there for 30 seconds. He should be in there counting. And that would actually add more drama during all that if the ref was in there counting, you know. So there's that. I don't know. That kind of took me out of it. But the neck spot, the thigh spot, it fits Abaddon's character.
Yeah.
So you can say that. It for me that kind of elevated the match for me just because of the visual of it. The match, I wasn't really before that too impressed, but after that,
No, yeah, I mean, this is like only the second time I've actually like watched Abaddon in the ring because like she's mainly on Dark and I don't watch Dark as we've discussed. I think she's all right. Like
yeah,
No, it's all about her character for
yeah,
me.
exactly.
100%. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know?
No.
So
No, I mean, it, again, she's a creepy bitch. Like it
yeah.
works. The biting of the thigh I've never seen before. So
That
like
was
that was
creepy.
cool, especially because like it was while she was going for a running knee, so she catches her leg and just like chomps onto
Yeah.
her thigh. That was
Yeah.
cool. The next
That was
spot
dope.
was also kind of cool, but I feel like there's been a lot of neck spots in wrestling recently, like Shayna Baszler biting the back of Becky's neck. A few weeks ago, Abaddon biting Sheeta's neck.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad match. It was a good co-main event. It helped
Yeah.
put Sheeta over more, showing that she can defeat even a zombie.
Well, Abaddon, benefited from the match too, I thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, although her, in-ring talent level isn't as high, like she took that beating and still got up, you know what I'm saying? And she showed what she's willing to do to try and win a match, all that sort of thing, you know. I don't think it's over between the two of them, honestly.
Probably not.
no, she doesn't. I will do, and this is just because the AEW's women's division needs more workers. Sheeta by far carries the whole thing.
Oh,
Everything
easily.
out there. it's cool to have a great character and all, but as a lot of people say, and then the bell rings.
No.
It, I would like. I think if she could work on her in ring, she'd be a really good second fiddle to Sheeta. And they
Oh,
need,
sure.
and they do have the NWA people coming in. If you want to count Thunder Rosa in that category as far as their workers go, she's just as good as Sheeta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when NWA starts back, then who knows if that's going to be a thing.
It's
So
true.
I think they benefited greatly from having NWA here
Oh,
100%.
100%.
in that division, especially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those couple matches that
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa and Sheeta put on,
Spectacular.
brilliant. They were
Yeah.
so good.
And speaking of the NWA women that have come in, next week for New Year's Smash Week 2, we have Serena Deeb, who is the current NWA Women's Champ, taking on Ty Conti, who will have the Dark Order in her corner.
Yeah.
And that is going to be for the NWA title, I believe.
Yes, that's yeah.
And listen, I love John Silver, and I love Anna Jay now. Like, I've grown
Yeah.
to love her. So just seeing the pairing of those two while Conti was talking, I was just cracking up.
Oh yeah.
I
They
love
were
that.
making funny ass faces and stuff in the background and
Yeah.
like flexing and stuff. It was hilarious.
We were talking about second fiddle as the Sheeta. Anna Jay's uh, gonna be up there.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
very young. She is very young, but her match a week or two ago, I was very impressed. Anna Jay's gonna be up there one day.
Oh, yeah.
She's only been like professional wrestling for like a year or two or
Yeah,
something
Yeah.
like that too.
She's young. She don't have much experience, but she gets it, and you can tell that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
100%.
mean, at least I mean, every time I've seen her in ring, she's looked better than last time for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
And that's at this point, that's really all you can ask, and so she's definitely on a good trajectory.
Yeah. And like even Ty Conti too, like
Oh yeah,
she's hasn't been around. She's been around longer than NJ, but like not as long as like everyone else. She was in NXT for a little bit,
yep,
but building them and like and of course having like vets like Serena Deeb, Thunder Rosa, having them also helps. But building the women's division is like their main focus, and I like that they're using Anna Jay, Ty Conti,
yes,
Britt Baker when she's in the ring, Thunder Rosa, Swole's not even that bad. They have a lot of talent and some that they're trying to build, but they just
yes,
don't have the time to put them on. Or they're choosing not to put them on,
yeah.
giving them the
Well,
time to better themselves, I guess.
and they started doing some cool stuff too, like what they were doing with Nyla Rose and Guerrero there. That was dope. What's been going on with that? I'd love to see where that's.
I think when it was announced that Brandy got pregnant,
Oh, that makes sense.
that kind of put
I didn't think
a
of that, yeah.
standstill on whatever the hell was happening with all of the women involved in that.
Well, that sucked because it looked like it was going to be something, cool. Because, like we've talked about a few times, it would be neat to see like an all women's faction or whatever. And it looked like that's what they were building, and it looked cool. But yeah, you're right. I forgot about the pregnancy thing. That's probably what, that's probably what stopped that.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna run down the rest of the matches for next week. Darby Allin versus Brian Cage for the TNT title. Chuck Taylor taking on Miro, and if Chuck loses, he becomes Miro's young boy. FTR taking on Jurassic Express, which we now know the pairing is Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. Pac taking on Eddie Kingston, which that match is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
The Elite, I'm putting it in quotes now, are going to be in action in some sort, we don't know how. The Inner Circle is going to say all of their New Year's resolutions. And we get The Waiting Room, which is Dr. Britt Baker's talk show that she's been doing on Dark, It's now going to make its debut on TNT, and her
Nice.
guest is Cody Rhodes, which you know that if Cody's the guest, something is going to happen.
Yeah. I'm looking for, I think that's going to be cool. I haven't seen it on Dark or anything, but I'm really intrigued by that, honestly.
Oh, God, sorry. I
You're
thought you were going to talk a lot longer than
fired.
that, Kev.
How did you not know?
All right. The moment we've been waiting for. We're an hour in already. It's the main event.
Oh my God.
So it is for the AEW World Championship. We have the champ, Kenny Omega, with his longest intro by far.
I love it.
I think Justin Roberts almost had a heart attack in the middle of the ring as he was talking so fast and so long.
I felt lightheaded, honestly.
Yeah. It was so long. Taking on Rey Fenix. In this match was amazing.
Holy crap.
I tried catching or writing down as best I could some of the millions of spots that were in this match. Alright, so let's see. When the match goes to the outside, Fenix tries to go for the rolling cutter over the barricade, and it is immediately reversed into a Snapdragon, which
Yeah.
Snapdragons are one of my favorite moves ever, and Kenny does them so clean.
Oh yeah.
I love watching that. There is, at one point, a German suplex that dropped Kenny right on the top of his head. Let's see. Oh, the best part. I like freaked out. I popped so hard. V trigger on Fenix, nip up, super kick. It was the coolest thing. It was so
Yeah,
quick.
it was.
It was so cool to watch. Oh my god, they were so good. Like I'm marking out for it because it was such a damn good match.
It really was. No,
Um,
that spot for a minute, I was like, whoa, is he gonna no sell a goddamn V trigger? You know, I was like, holy shit. And then of course he falls right back down after he super kicks him. But like,
oh man, there was so much. There was at one point the end of the match, Fenix goes off the top. Kenny catches him, hits Tiger Driver 98, V trigger, one wing angel for the win. But Fenix's shoulder was like kind of up on 3, but not really on 3. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Seemed a little sketch because they showed it again and I watched and like it was like right on 3. His shoulder kind of came up. So I don't know if they're gonna do something with that. But
yeah, I don't know.
then this is where all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Don Callis has the mic because Don Callis is Don Callis. And he's like, oh, I'm getting report that something terrible's happening in the back, and it's Eddie Kingston and Butcher and the Blade, basically just holding Penta and Pac hostage and like beat them up. And Don turns to Fenix and is like, I told you Penta and Pac weren't gonna come save you. And he tells Kenny, he's like, just finish him, like basically just like kill him.
Yeah, yeah. This really kind of got dark for a second. I was like, is Don Callis like literally? I mean, I know that Bray Wyatt got set on fire not too long ago, like, but
I'm all for it.
So he's like setting up Kenny's setting up Fenix for the One Wing Angel again. And he's like, oh, this is the end and whatever, and Mox comes out with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Classic. Hits Kenny in the stomach, and Don Callis is like cowering on the outside, and the Good Brothers,
Oh my god.
from the Impact Tag Champions,
Yeah.
come into the ring, start beating the shit out of John Moxley, hit the Magic Killer, which has been their finisher together forever.
Forever. Yeah.
they're beating up Mox, and then nobody. It's like 2 solid minutes of them all just beating up John Moxley, and nobody's coming out, and people on the outside finally start coming into the ring. Good brothers are taking everyone out. Kenny's taking people out, and then the Young Bucks come out.
Oh my god!
Finally, there's like
Yeah.
3 minutes left because I knew damn well they weren't going over 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Young Bucks come out, and it looks like they're trying to talk down the Good Brothers and Kenny. They're like, "What are you guys doing?" All this stuff, and I can't remember who. Like, they grab Kenny and like hold him against the rope, and Gallows hits the one. Matt super kicks the other,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my god, is this?
Yeah, I know.
Is this what I think is happening?"
Yeah, my jaw dropped with that super kick for sure. I was like, holy shit.
Then after that, Gallows, Anderson, and Kenny are standing in the middle, holding up the Too Sweet. Matt and Nick look a little reluctant. They all Too Sweet, and they immediately go off air.
Yeah, that was a hell of a moment, man. That was a hell of a moment.
It's literally our thumbnail.
I was gonna suggest it if you hadn't made it there already.
Kyle made it. I was like, "You're making my job a lot easier. Thank you." Seb, I need to hear your opinion on everything.
I was waiting on it, but it's really interesting when you really sit here and look at pretty much the landscape of wrestling right now. You got Impact, and you were wondering, well, I was at least, when was that going to blow over to AEW? Because you had Kenny going over to Impact the last few weeks, but nothing really going on the AEW side.
Yep.
Then you have the Bullet Club aspect, where can they be called Bullet Club? Because Bullet Club still exists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you'd wonder if that's going to bring New Japan into the mix.
That's been the rumor for a long, long time too, you know.
And Jay White, if you're following that stuff, he's rumored to be leaving there. Maybe that's his place to get back, whatever. Or he's been acting like he's going to leave the Bullet Club. So you got stuff going on everywhere with them. And then you think about what got postponed last year, Blood and Guts match.
Oh, Sebastian.
So, I mean,
He always keeps that thing on him. Oh my God, Sebastian.
Yeah, so you have all these different companies potentially getting brought into this, and you have this match where we don't even know what it looks like or what it is, but it's been a plan for them in a while. They're starting to get live crowds in here. It'd be a good time to pull it off if you planned on it. I mean, you had these AEW guys try to come in, so you already have a sense of Impact versus AEW, and where does Young Bucks fall in? Are they going to be on Impact? I mean, it's just so many different variables. I mean, it's just really interesting.
No, it really is. I didn't even think about that aspect, man. Like that's an excellent point. And there's a lot of different ways that you could go with that, like you were saying, that make total sense. That would be so dope. Maybe you could even get NWA involved in that. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's another thing. NWA, you already got the women coming over, and you know NWA is going to want something. And what better way to do it is bring a team led by Nick Aldis, and he has a history with AEW. He was on the first show. And if Cody's in the match, you can kind of bring that storyline into it.
Yep.
Because of their history. So there's several ways this thing can go, and I'm just really, really curious to see where it goes. And it's a great start to 2021.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even think about Blood and Guts. I was just talking about that match like last week or something.
When you really think about it, Paige has left the Elite. Kenny, he went to heel, and before tonight, Young Bucks were still face. Cody, he's kind of doing his own thing. And Inner Circle looks like they're about to implode anyway. So if they're going to do the match, they really don't have, before tonight, they don't have a direct story to get there. And now you have all these different things that can accumulate to it. So, I'm really excited. And all right, everyone.
Yeah, come on, NXT stands.
Stop it.
NXT had a great show. Well, I got to watch it. but
Oh, I
NXT
just
had a
like
great
to
show.
stir the pot. I just like
I
to
got
stir.
Kevin
so
just
much
likes to
wrestling.
start shit.
I got so much wrestling.
No, NXT is dope, and I'm actually really excited to watch.
I am too, honestly. Like,
so-
I'll watch it tomorrow after I get back from work.
I still
have,
got finished Wrestle Kingdom. I got NXT.
I have a feeling I'll probably overall end up liking the NXT show this week a little bit better, if I'm being
I mean,
perfectly
it
honest.
seemed like a banger of a night
Yeah.
for them.
But AEW is my number one.
I know it is. All right. We've been going for over an hour. We talked about Dynamite. We talked about a possible blood and guts match between every company besides WWE. I feel like that's the perfect way to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sebastian, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah, man, it's been missed you, bruh. Glad you're back.
I am back on Wednesdays for the next couple of weeks, and then after that, it's probably just going to be pay-per-views, takeovers, stuff like that, because I'm off on weekends now. Or
That's
after
cool.
family, but
No.
We'll take all the Sebastian we can get.
Exactly.
I'm excited to be back.
We're excited to have you back. Now I don't have to deal with Kevin's BS by myself.
Or Kev.
Who, me?
Oh,
would
me. All right. Thank you all for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified every time we post a recap or other things. We used to have like UWOs. I don't even know if Kyle does those anymore.
I don't know either.
He's got his own other podcast now. He's starting to forget about us. Tears. No, nothing.
Nah.
Kyle's gonna be here forever.
I know. Trust me, I know. Because if he leaves, that means I think I have to be in charge, and that's no, nothing's happening with that. I refuse.
I'll be in charge.
Oh my god! All right. Again, thanks, Sebastian. We'll see you next Wednesday for Dynamite.
Yes, I'll be here.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Till then, bye, guys.
Peace.